Hi there, and thank you for joining us for another week of our free 8-week webinar series. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ellie Borden. I'm an author and registered psychotherapist and the clinical director and founder of the Mind by Design coaching and psychology clinics. Tonight, we will be discussing parenting. How important is that? So Neeha will be covering something we call positive parenting. What she's going to do is define that for you, as well as cover some examples, parenting styles, and then give you some insight on how to identify the best style for you. Tune in and remember to stick around till the end because I always have bonuses for you. Enjoy. Neeha, take it away.
Hello and welcome to the series of webinars conducted by Mind by Design. I am Neeha Perani and I am working as a counselor for many years. I have been conducting workshops and training for parents and caregivers regarding different topics of parenting. Today it's my great honor to be part of Mind by Design and present to you on positive parenting style. Parenting is such a big job, I would say. It's a great responsibility. And we, of course, have so much of stress going on while multitasking as a parent. When my clients come and talk to me, and I have experienced that same thing, that parenting is not easy. It's not a, eyes on the cherry or something of that sort. It's difficult. It's because we are handling work, we are handling ourselves, we are handling the household chores, at the same time taking care of the baby. And taking care of a child, of a baby, is not a single statement or sentence. It branches out to many things that you have to take care of the food you're supposed to take care of, whether my child has been getting the values that he requires to become a good citizen, whether my child is able to attend school, whether my child is able to behave appropriately, whether my child is following what I want him to do, whether my child is having friends around, whether my child is developing socially, emotionally, physically, mentally, and so on and so forth. It's a huge responsibility. With all this responsibility comes a lot of pressure, and that bleeds into frustration, anger, resentment, and there is a guilt trip which all parents go through. That why did I yell at my child? Why did I told him such a bad word? Or why did I have to raise my voice? So, and there is a cycle that goes on. It's not something which is linear, no, end result, no, it's a cycle. The moment, the way we react with our child, the child reacts back, and then there is an emotion that goes on. So my question today to you all is, what is our main job as a parent? As I've just discussed about, of course, we have a great deal of responsibility. But what we think as a main job as a parent? Our main job as a parent, of course, is to love and respect our child unconditionally, no matter what. Of course, everybody out there watching this webinar love and respect their kids, no matter what. But there are times when we have to intentionally do that. Even though your child has shown a destructive behavior, it's the behavior that is bad, not the child. And you have to accept and love him or her as he or she is, and respect him, at the same time teaching him what is right and wrong. But you are loving him whether or not, whether if or but anything comes into place, you love. And we all surely do it. But it's like, we get distracted with so many things going on that this takes a back seat. If you're building if suppose I'm asking you to construct a building, the foundation of that building of parenting would be love and respect. Because that's how you can then lay a layer on top of that and build up, your entire story building. With all the discipline, all the tools that we are supposed to talk today and what's available, and you have available on the net, or you have used yourself. And always remember that the sign of great parenting is not the child's behavior. The sign of a great or truly great parenting is the parent's behavior. This is so correctly noted by Andy Smithson, that the way you react to your child is how your parenting style is, and how will define how great parent you are. And this webinar is for all of us today who want to make a shift, who want to become a proactive parent, who wants to make a change. Because there are so many parents who come and ask me that, what am I supposed to do when my child is behaving this way? I get so upset. I cannot control myself. I just want to, leave everything and just go. How can I make my child listen to me and adhere to my decisions? How? And then how, there are people who say me, like parents who say me that my child, just wears me down. I feel so weak that I totally feel like a pushover. If you are thinking so, maybe this presentation will help you to understand what is positive parenting. What is it that we require to understand while dealing with our kids? How can we become a proactive parent and change the cohesive cycle into a more effective way of managing your child without losing or without withdrawing from the situation, but having respect at the same time while resolving the issue? So, what is cohesive cycle? Before I jump into what positive discipline is, what is proactive parenting, let's understand the cycle when we go on in a trip of parenting. That whenever there is a child's behavior or destructive or problematic behavior, as parent, we respond to it emotionally. And then what happens? There is a give and take, serve and return type of policy that happens, where your child says something, you revert back, and then back and forth, until unless there will be a point where we reach that it's done. Somebody has to withdraw ourselves, and it's mostly the parent. We will shut down, we will scream, we will just leave the premise where we are standing and say, do what you would like to do. I don't care anymore. Do whatever you feel like doing. Just don't ask me, don't bother to ask me henceforth. And that's the cycle which we go on. And today's presentation is supposed to think about or learn that new strategies about being proactive parent using positive discipline techniques in order to respond to your child, in order to reduce or de-escalate the problem behavior or disruptive behavior while maintaining the control. So when you have this, argument, there's a power struggle, and one has to win, one has to lose. But while using proactive parenting tips and positive discipline, there is no win, there is no lose. It's a mutual understanding which you have laid between you both. With that respect, you are able to solve the issue and mitigate the problem. So what exactly is, discipline? When we're talking about discipline, we're talking about proactive parenting, we're talking about tools. Before I just go inside into deep understanding of positive discipline, because positive discipline is very essential to be understood, because it's that definition of discipline will make us aware what is our role in positive parenting. Whenever a parent comes to me, it's a simple question: what is the discipline meaning? The discipline meaning has revolved or throughout the years. Initially, it was very restrictive, very punitive, with a one-way process, and parents have to say something and the child has to adhere to it and follow through it. Then there was a time where it was like, you just keep a neutral room or ground for your child to do whatever he wants without interfering. But now is a time where we use positive parenting styles. And that discipline, using that discipline to help your child learn and acquire skills in the positive manner and not using punitive measures. Discipline is a word which has come from a Greek word, disciple. That means that as a teacher, there is a student. So in this parenting program, we are the teachers as parent and the kids are the student. We are helping them to model us. We are helping them, or we are guiding them in order to navigate the issues. We are helping them. We are guiding. We are not using punitive measures. We are being firm, of course, but we are being kind at the same time. There's a lot of difference. And why do we do that? Because that's how the child can learn. For example, if you're telling your child to do something, okay, XYZ, whatever the name of the child is, example, Sanya, just go and just go to bed and sleep. I am telling the child what to do. And when you tell a child what to do, what happens is the physiological symptoms of the behavior is like your body gets freeze. Your mind is not able to understand, and there's an information is getting released. It's not getting encoding in your brain because you're not able to understand in that moment what just happened. Why is my mom screaming and yelling at me? And then we have a power struggle. But in case when you ask your child to do something, you are creating a platform of love and acceptance, at the same time giving the option to your child to do something or not to do something. You are making a statement or asking where the child's brain is able to take the information, encode it, and then deliver it back to you. Just think of the example of you are telling your kid that you have to do your homework now. This is telling. Then if I have to just rephrase it and guide my child, I can say, what's your plan of doing your homework? I'm giving a direction to my child. I'm redirecting my child. Oh, stop fighting with your brothers. It's telling. Instead of saying, how can you and your brother solve this problem? I'm giving an opening for them. And that's where my child feels and accepting. The body is able to take the message and revert back. That's our job, is to guide. With that, let's dive into the positive discipline principle today, what we're supposed to focus on. With the base of why are we doing it? And this 5 principles which have been listed as a very important foundation on the tools which I'm supposed to share with you. Attachment and respect, as I told, love and respect are the 2 foundation pillars of your construction of your building. Because the child has a sense of belonging and sense of significance. And by showing attachment, by paying attention to your child, you are fulfilling that hardwired need of your child to be belonged to and to have significance to. And that's how you will use these 2 things in your proactive parenting and become a proactive parent, by being empathetic to your child. At the same time using positive discipline, that is guiding your child and redirecting your child from doing something which is not acceptable according to you. So understanding the why is the baseline. If I would use any strategies in this thing, understanding, many pioneers of this parenting consultation and psychology have worked on parenting and have told that we have to understand and see situation from child's perspective. You have to understand, why is my child behaving so? And mostly it's because the higher sense of belonging and sense of significance is not met. The child does not feel attentive. The child does not feel that he belongs to someone. At the same time, the sense of significance that I don't have anything in my control. I cannot, focus on myself, or I cannot be in capacity to become independent. I cannot make my own decision. And when the child is not able to have that 2 sense of belonging and significance, the problem starts. But when you pay attention and understand the why, you are not doing anything but becoming a proactive parent. So proactive parent means that you are, as a person, you're not reacting. You're not reacting at a situation which has happened. Because when something happens, that means it's high possibility that that behavior has been hardwired, or the new pathway has been formed for that behavior. So changing that pathway from the brain becomes a little difficult and will take more time. But if you're becoming a proactive parent and responding to it, you are, putting a block, a barrier for that behavior to be learned and exhibit. You are able to control that behavior. And ultimately, you won't find your child having a destructive behavior because you're using the proactive strategy of responding to your child's need in advance. Okay, it's just like a set plan which you draft for your kids. It's about mapping things out way in advance before the things happen. For example, at your workplace, if you're working, what happens? There is an emergency protocol made, a policy made in case of emergency. There's a fire, there is something. Where are you supposed to head towards? Which exit will you take? Which is a place where you all will assemble and have, a count of your members whether everybody has reached their destination or not. We have a plan ready. Same likewise, we train our kids about stranger danger. Do not take things from others. You have to stop, yell, cry, and say no. We are teaching the child way in advance what they are supposed to expect from the situation. If something happens, how will they steer back their wheels from the danger? It's about pre-planning. That's what proactive is. Not only that on those aspects, but in your normal positive disciplining techniques or parenting techniques, you have to be proactive and making a baseline for your kids to understand what is accepted. So in sum, it's the most effective discipline strategies are those that proactively prepare a child so the parent does not have to reactively respond. Very important to understand that we have to create a plan so that we don't have to reactively respond at the last moment. The child pretty well knows if he happens to be in the situation what he's supposed to do. If I'm in the grocery store, if I want a particular thing, I'm not supposed to yell or scream or fall on the ground and roll on the ground for that thing. But I have a protocol made already that if I want something, I need to approach my parent. I need to say that I need this for this purpose. And then we will decide whether it's the right time to take it out. And then we will chart it down. Okay, if it's possible, then we can buy it or we can negotiate something. That's how my parent will agree to buy a particular toy. Just giving you a simple example. So, according to Laura, this is very beautifully she has framed how proactive parenting can be divided into 3 components. The first component is cocooning. Very important, the base of a foundation, the love, the affect, the safety. Having a safety net around your kids and cocooning it so that it, blossoms. And the child feels safe, you are attached. That's a basic need of any human being. So if you feel, in contact with someone, you feel belonged, you feel good about it. For example, you happen to enter your workplace and your boss is just nagging and, giving you things to do, telling you, dictating you like a Hitler, that do this, do that, this. And after doing it, after accomplishing the task, there is nothing. There is no give and take. There is close the topic, bye, you go home. I have paid you for the day. How will you would like to be in that situation? How long will you like to be in that situation, I would ask. Will you be attached to that organization? Will you have respect for that organization because you're not getting respect back? That's the same principle. We all work on the same principle of attachment. We need someone to belong to. We need some recognition. We need respect and to be respected. And that cocooning is for forming that boundary for your kids that you as parent are respecting and loving them and having that bond created intentionally. Unintentionally, we all are doing it. But if you move from unintentional to intentionally, it's a huge difference because every moment you're trying to make it obvious for your child that you are doing that for him. Indirectly, from your words, your action, the efforts that you're taking for him or her. The second is pre-arming. Teaching your child right or wrong, that's the positive discipline. That principle of positive discipline. That is, you're guiding your child in advance what to do if something happens, how to navigate yourself from the danger if you happen to fall into. How are you supposed to respond to bullying? How are you supposed to respond to your younger or elder brother who is taking away your things? How are you supposed to talk to me in front of others? We are teaching the child by giving them right, wrong, acceptable, unacceptable behavior. That is preparing the child. proactively. The third is difference. Difference is nothing but, trusting your child. Is about letting the child know that you trust him about things he decides. You give him a choice. You give them a opening, like you're making them the agents of change for themselves. You're telling them whatever happens, I'm next to you. I trust you. And that brings a sense of significance. The main hardwire in a child is sense of significance, the second one which we spoke about. So when you're giving that thing, you are embracing the significance category of sense. So ultimately the child feels independent, the child feels capable, the child feels that, okay, I am in position to make my own decision. My parents are here to support me. That's how the proactive principle works. And if you would like to become a proactive parent in handling a situation, we have to focus on this three component while drafting any tools for your kids. Of course, there are a plethora of tools available in the market. There are too many tried and tested methods. But there are times where some methods works for us, some don't, because we all are unique, our kids are unique. So if something works for one particular child, does not work with other particular child. So it's okay, but we are trying, but we are using the tools and principles, all the discipline strategies based on this component. That's going to make a huge difference in the way your child responds to you and reduce destructive behavior, whether it's screaming, yelling, stealing, nail biting, or it's about, your child is not responding with respect, whatever the circumstance will be. You will be able to, be a part of your child's progress and help him learn what is desired and not desired in a very positive manner. This I found it very cute that, always remember that the kids who need the most love will ask for it in the most unloving way. It's the need, okay? If they desire something, they're not able to verbalize to us that, if they're yelling or crying, for example, a child is doing that. He's not able to tell us what he wants, okay? Whether he wants attention. Mama, you are not paying attention to me for a few days. You're just busy working so hard. You're so busy socializing that you have not paid attention to me. And I want you to listen to me. I want you to sit next to me and talk to me. I want to play with you. The child is not able to verbalize in that manner. And so what he does is, the easiest way is to throw tantrums. Easiest way is to yell, because the moment I'm not getting a positive attention, might as well do something negative and get the negative attention. At least I'm getting attention. That's how the child cognition works. That's how he is able to fulfill his sense of belonging and sense of significance by showcasing a negative behavior, because he knows at least I will get something in negative return. At least I will get a negative attention. At least there will be a sense of discussion, or there will be someone up on a discussion between my parent and me. That's how it works. So the first thing to become a proactive parent, and it's been well documented by many psychologists, whether it's Dr. Ember or it's Dr. Chen, they have very precisely told us that it's the attention and the power cup needs to be filled for the kids. It's about paying attention to your child. It's about sparing the extra minute for your child, making them aware that you care for what they are doing and you care and are concerned about what are they doing. At the same time, giving them a set part according to age, of course, according to their cognitive age or according to the age you're giving them responsibility to do and have the power, the independence which they want in their life. And always ask yourself, have you filled your child's cup of attention today or cup of power today? Because if you have kept it empty, the child is supposed to behave in a destructive manner to fill it, whether it's positive or negative attention, but I need it. And he will try and fill that cup with whatever he desires to. So it's okay if my mama is not giving me time like that, might as well ask for it another way. For example, I would like to share that one fine day I was just working and I came across a sweet girl, and I I was like, I was shocked for a moment because I've never seen that behavior happening. And she's just crying and whining about things to a great extent. And the person who was handling was not able to do so. And after a few seconds of minutes, I was watching the way the conversation was going, and I intervened by taking permission. And secondly, I took permission from the child too. That can I talk to you? Will it be okay for you to have a conversation with me? And then from there onwards, we had a small conversation where I asked her not to cry and explain what exactly she wants. Because I said, I don't understand when you cry and talk to me. If you are not crying, I will be able to understand your words more clearly and precisely. Then going from there, going deeper in why she's behaving so. She told me that she's feeling sick, she has a headache, a 7-year-old having a headache, and then later coming to a point of saying that I'm missing my dad because he's supposed to come and pick me up. So that was all the connection. So I understood that, she wants attention, she wants power to go home. Of course, in a school setting, I cannot allow her to go home at any given time. There is a set protocol. So I empathize with her at that moment. I said, I understand that you are in pain, you are not feeling good about because your head is hurting. And then you're at the same time missing your dad who's supposed to come and pick you up. But your dad is on his way. He should soon come when the school ends to receive you. But meantime, would you like to just sit here and wait for your dad to come in, or would you like to go and play with your friends? And that moment, the child just went and said, okay, I will wait for my dad while playing with my friends. She went back and started playing and indulging in the activities which was designed for that day. So what did I really do in this situation? I gave her some attention. I validated her feeling. I also tried and named what she was feeling, her emotion, and then giving her choice of deciding, giving the power to just sit or to play. Of course, I cannot give her power to go home. No, but I redirected her, and I still gave her the choice, a sense of significance that you can decide for yourself. What would you like to do? I'm not telling you to go and play. It's your decision. And the huge game changer comes there when you are able to pay attention and give power to your child. The second thing is a special time. Special time is just a we time with your kids. Whether you have one child, two child, three child, you divide your schedule in such a way that your kids get at least 10 to 15 minutes of your time on a designated schedule and a particular routine. So this not only helps you to have a routine set, it does not have expectations, a weird expectation. They know what to expect in a particular day. They know what's going to come up. Okay, mama is supposed to spend time, or dad is supposed to spend time at this particular time with me, at this particular time, and after lunch with this one, after dinner with this one, bedtime is my time. So they know what exactly to look forward. And when you are giving that special time to your kids, you're telling your child that you are paying attention, you are caring for them, there is a love association, and thereby you are having a communication with your kids. You are disciplining your child, making understanding of designing a protocol of your proactive parenting. I know people out there must be thinking that I'm working 9 to 7, or I'm working 9 to 5 and I don't have time. I have to come home, do the chores, then also take care of the homework assigned, and etc. 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 I completely agree to it. That we have a busy schedule and removing that 15-20 minutes, it's a huge deal. But when people ask me that question, I ask them to just reflect back. In a week, how many times is your daughter or is your son behaving in a particular way which you don't desire him to behave? After that question is my second question which I normally ask is, how much time does it take that moment to de-escalate the situation and go back to your normal routine? It's a huge number of time. It's not 5 minutes. Sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 1 hour hot discussion within family. Think about that way, that you are investing 1 hour on the odd days. Might as well give that 10-15 minutes on a regular day. It will make a huge difference because you are laying a foundation. You are asking your child or telling your child what is accepted, and then you are forming your rules and regulations with him. You are disciplining, and ultimately your child knows that this is my time regardless of whatever happens. So he will not have a negative need to have display a negative behavior, destructive behavior. And he will be able to wait for you to, talk to him and discuss about it. And not, react emotionally. And of course, there will be time, regardless of how open you are to incorporate this in your schedule. There will be days when you have other appointments, you have doctor's appointment coming up, you have something else. You have your deadlines to complete, which is very important for your work. But make sure that you convey that message to your kid. That today mama or dada, whatever, has this particular thing and won't be able to give you a special time as decided. But I make sure that tomorrow, at the same time, I will give you more extra 10 minutes to compensate this. Is that okay? And I'm giving a choice for my child. That's how you build a rapport, and that's how you are creating a base, and then giving and of course following through it. It's not one-time affair that you have said something and then you forget about it. It requires practice and redoing it over again. Next, we would like to share about fair and your effective consequences. Of course, this will be your last resort. Okay, this will be something which will come at the end, and believe me, by using the special time, using the power and attention cup, and by understanding why is your child behaving this particular way and giving the sense of attachment and belonging, will solve 95% of the problems. And you will hardly need there will be a need to use consequences in order to discipline your child. But even though if you would like to use this at any given time, your situation has forced you to do that, remember that your consequences should be based on these 4 R's given by Dr. Chain. That it has to be relevant, it has to be respectful, reasonable, and revealed in advance. So that means it has to be related. It cannot be something off the blue moon. That if my child is doing A, but my punishment is B. No. It has to be relevant. For example, my child is playing with a toy and it's time for dinner, or it's time to go to bed. And I said the child to tidy up. He didn't do it. I'm giving a consequence. It's okay, no problem. You can just go to bed. Mama will clean this up. But for tomorrow, you won't be able to get this toy because I will be taking it away. So it's related. At the same time, I'm respectful. I'm respecting his decision of not clearing up that particular day, and I'm being reasonable for it. I accept it, but I'm attaching to a clause over there that tomorrow you won't get to play. So the child knows that what is expected. And this rule which I have given to my child or shared with my child is been revealed way in advance, way before the situation has arisen. I don't wait for the situation to arise and respond and react to situation. No. This is already given to my child, so my child knows about it, that if someday, if I'm not able to do this chore, this is the consequences which I will have to face. And I'm just retelling that whole thing to him at that moment. And while you're making this consequence list with your child, where you're discussing with your child in a very respectful manner, you are asking your child to repeat what we have discussed. In this way, your child is able to, the message goes deep inside and stays in the long-term brain that, okay, if I don't know this, mom is supposed to do this. So make sure your child repeats it. And make sure that it has to be respectful. It should not be something which I'm, hurting my child's well-being or sense of confidence or self-esteem. So positive parenting is not about that. Positive parenting is a well-researched document which says that if you're using it, you're able to boost your child's self-esteem, self-worth. You are able to make your child more independent. You're able to make your child more having the ability to have critical thinking and reasonable thinking, and also have increased empathy within your child. And that's what the message goes when you are planning these things. You are teaching your child all these things, which is a life skill for him when he grows up. And positive parenting is not a one thing that, okay, we can only start when the child is infant. No, it's a process. It's never too late to start anything, whether your child is teen, whether your child is adolescent, nothing. It's a process. Whenever you start is the right time to use a positive parenting. And remember that positive parenting we're talking about the equation of nurture and structure. Nurture, of course, a sense of belonging we're talking about, and structure is basically your positive discipline. It should be on an equal length. It cannot be like I'm over loving and I'm not putting any structure to my child. It's going to result in destructive behavior. It's supposed to have a negative effect. But if it's vice versa also, again the same thing happens. So you have to maintain the level, and the equation should always be equal to it where you are drafting your parenting skills. So practice makes progress, and progress makes peace in your home. Always remember that's a slow process. Everything you try, whether any new tool you use, it's going to take time to show, improvement or show result. But if you do it persistently, regularly, every day, it will definitely show you some result and will make your sense of peace in your house. By being proactive parenting, you are reducing a huge amount of stress from ourselves. You are able to breathe in your own self. You're having a spare time for your self-care, which is very important. By using positive parenting and becoming a proactive parent, by giving and acknowledging the sense of belonging and sense of significance, you are able to achieve that. It's a win-win situation for both, for your child and for yourself, for your mental health and for your child's mental health. So I would like to thank you all to be part of this webinar, and I hope this topic this discussion rather, has helped you to pick up few of the techniques which I have discussed today to become a proactive parent and use it in your day-to-day life. I thank once again Mind by Design for organizing this webinar, and have a good day.
Thanks for sticking around, and I hope you had some great insight on parenting. All we can do as parents is do our best, but if we have the extra tools, we can do even better. So as always, I have a bonus for you. Tonight, we have 25% off our co-parenting group program. So all you have to do is let us know that you tuned in tonight. We'll check the list, and then we'll apply the discount for you. We hope to see you there, and I will see you next week for another webinar.